Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing some peachy fall makeup, we're doing some hair, and we're doing some talking about life. So if you want to hear about what's going on with me and how I had a near-death experience, I came to the end of my rope and am on a much better, different track now, keep on watching.
I have one eyelash on and I have this, and I'm looking at you like one-eyed Willie, telling you this crazy story about how I nearly lost my life. Driving this crazy woman driver in a small town. Can y'all see that blush? I don't have on any highlight. This is just the finish of the blush. I'm gonna link it in the bio for y'all. Be sure to get you some because look at that. It's also a reminder to me and a reminder to everyone else that like your body can only do as much as it can do. Like you are not a machine. Like even your car takes gasoline. I'll go ahead and get moisturized. I went ahead and moisturized and primed my face. Here I go with my eyeshadow primer. So it's been a long time since we have talked. And like, my life has just been crazy. I had to leave my job in, when was it? June. And honestly, I was not happy there for a while. I should have left sooner.
Hey y'all, this is Editing Ashley here. I lost this clip, but I wanted to say that I went and saw a Hunter Hayes concert, and he's an amazing artist, an amazing musician, and he really spoke like from his heart right to the audience about different things that he struggled with, and it inspired me to just do the same on my YouTube channel. And I just have had such a pressure to curate such a persona for so long, or appear a certain way for so long, and like that was a really powerful and strong example of like a better way to be for me. So in the next clip I explain more, but that is all.
Sum all that up, the reason I mentioned Hunter Hayes and the reason I mentioned perfectionism and like not wanting to like show the imperfect parts of my life is like because I wanted to lead up to say this. So something that I struggle with as of lately is this thing called heat intolerance, which I didn't even know it was a thing, but like for the last almost the last year, I wasn't aware of it a year ago, but I started to have really bad issues around like November-ish of last year. And basically it's just when the heat can like just makes you dizzy, you're like super prone to fainting. A couple years ago, back in 2021, I lost someone that was very, very close to me, and ever since I lost this person, I've just had like this like internal furnace that like will not shut off. Like I just feel so extra warm all the time. When they died, I was living in the coldest room in the house, and all of a sudden I had to get rid of my duvet, I had to get rid of my comforters, my sheets. I couldn't even use regular sheets anymore. I had to buy specialty sheets that were cooling, and it's just never gone away since. And like I didn't notice it like making me physically ill and like having issues outside until as of late. Like in 2023 I did move, and I moved into my hometown, and it's very, 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 very hot here. One of the reasons why I've been quiet all summer is I just have not felt well. Like y'all, like the amount of times that I have cried real tears from it being too hot outside. Like too hot for me to drive my car, too hot for me to work. That's like the big reason why I had to leave my job. Was it just like I thought that I was applying to a job that was inside, but the job was actually more like hybrid, even like more outdoor. And when it gets up to like 90, 100 something degrees, it's just too much for me. Just like that heat, it just like does something to my body and my mind. Like I just become a different person, and I feel physically very, very, very ill. And I should have left the job a long time ago. But you know, at the end of June, everything came down, and it was just very apparent that it was time for me to go, and so I had to leave. So and I find that it like isolates me. Like it makes it so that like there's certain people in my family that I would love to visit, but unfortunately I can't visit them because they keep their house too hot. Like I can't, like if someplace is too hot for me, I just like I can't stand it. It overtakes my body, makes me feel physically ill, and I just, one of my friends was going on a boat for her birthday this past month, and as you would expect, that's an outside activity, and obviously like I couldn't go because it's just too hot. And for me, it's like really weird. Like, so when I'm in the heat, it's not just in that moment that it's a problem. Like I start to kind of feel it in that moment, but I also feel it later. It's like the heat won't leave my body. Like my body can't, it's already too warm, but my body can't come down to regular temperature after being out of the heat. Like it takes sometimes like a day or more for me to feel all right again. Or like there was a time that I went to a festival, like a food festival with a friend of mine in April, and it was very hot outside. I thought I would be okay. This is before I like really fully realized that like I have a real problem here. And that night, like I swear I was gonna die. Like I started having chills, and my organs were all like clenching. Like I was so sick, and I literally thought I was gonna die. Like my body was raking me over the coals, and when I woke up, I was shocked that I was still alive. Like this is what I've been dealing with for the past couple months. And it's also a reminder to me and a reminder to everyone else that like your body can only do as much as it can do. Like you are not a machine. Like even your car takes gasoline. This is your sign. If your job is making you miserable, you gotta go. Don't, like there's obviously something really wrong, and like no job is worth your inner peace. Like a job should not be that toxic, and anytime that I've tried to stick a job out that was toxic, something bad has happened. So when you know that your time is expired somewhere, it's expired. And like just as soon as possible, find another job, leave that job, do what you have to do. Like this is your sign. And this is a personal note to myself. I already knew this, but I had to learn it again. Apparently I forgot. And like you could imagine like how well I was physically able to do the job because I was trying not to faint. Like I was literally like holding on. I was a bartender. I think my time bartending is over. I think my bartending era is over. Perhaps I'll use the skills to do something else in the future, but I think my time behind bars is done. I'll elaborate more on that in the future, but why did I have to make my wing that thick? Y'all, look what I just done did. I guess this is gonna be the part where I show y'all how I fix it. So we're gonna let it dry. Okay, so like y'all get the gist. My time at my job came to an end, and then I was kind of like in a state of shock over that. And a couple days later, I was visiting a friend of mine in the hospital, and this is where it gets really scary. So I got in my car and was driving down the road, and the car was just not cooling down. I had the AC blowing cold on full blast. The car was not cooling down. The air was like blowing hot. on me. And then I had to go over this big bridge. I live in a small town that's like basically isolated from like everything. You can't even get on the interstate with going over some kind of bridge. Like, not even kidding. Anyways, so I go over this bridge, right? And I get to the top and I'm like, oh my gosh. Am I gonna make it over this bridge? Like, I am the only one inside of this car. Like, if I faint, there's no one here to take control of the car. I was so scared. So I thank you, Jesus, that I got over this bridge, right? So I get over the bridge, I'm driving down the road, and I'm trying to like make the right turn to go towards the hospital. And I kept feeling sick. I'm like, Ashley, you need to pull over, like go inside a CVS, go inside the dollar store. So I'm trying to make the right turn, right? So I miss a turn because I'm like, all I'm thinking about is like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna faint, I'm gonna throw up, it's too hot, it's too hot, it's too hot, it's too hot, it's too hot. And just like with the job that I was telling you about, like I am unable, in the heat, I'm unable to think about what I'm doing. Like I'm just thinking about maintaining control of my body because I feel like it's gonna give out on me, and it has in the past. I end up making a turn onto a one-way street, and I turned into 4 lanes of oncoming traffic. Yeah, look at this. I have one eyelash on, and I have this, and I'm looking at you like one-eyed Willie, telling you this crazy story about how I nearly lost my life driving this crazy woman driver in a small town. Anyways, so that was scary, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like what did I just do? Oh my gosh, like luckily, like thank you Jesus, the cars were like far enough away that I could go. I just went into the grass. The other cars saw what I had done. They waited for me to turn myself around. I got turned around and I made it to the hospital safely. And then it rained, so it cooled it off. Came home from the hospital. I, of course, was very careful to let my car cool down before I drove it. After that, I was just like, this is a new low. I couldn't do my job because of the heat, and I guess now I can't drive my car either. Like, what am I gonna do now? I kind of went into a depression. Like, I stopped thinking about YouTube. I stopped really doing anything. So I called the doctor like back in May about, or maybe it was April, because it happened at the end of April, that whole episode where I felt like I was gonna die. And anyways, couldn't get in until like July something to see the doctor. Yeah. we won't talk a lot more about that, but anyways, more information about my town is it's medically underserved, and what that means is that there's not enough doctors for the amount of people that live here. My time at my job ended, right? The whole thing with inside the car happens. I drive in oncoming traffic, so all that stuff happened. Then I have this doctor's appointment to like talk about this thing with me in the heat. And I go to the doctor, and it is so hot in the doctor's office. And when I got out of the doctor's office, I started crying. So I just kind of sat and just like watched TV, scrolled on my phone for a while. I almost forgot I have a light right here on top of this thing that holds my phone up. Do y'all like that light better? I don't know. Or do you like it without? Let me know. Anyways, I start crying in the parking lot of the doctor's office, and just was like, you know, like, okay, so like a lot of the bartending opportunities down here are outside because people, for whatever reason, like the weather down here. And so like maybe I should work in an office, but like for me it was just like more things that I can't do, like the job, the car, and now like looking forward to in the future, like the heat is still keeping me from more things. It just made me feel so alone.
Quick lesson, if y'all ever have a problem with your mascara doing this, you just like let it dry and then take a spoolie and kind of like roll it in it. I guess it wasn't completely dry. Okay, I kept itching at it and see, like, it is like mostly gone, and when I put more foundation right there or concealer, it's not gonna show.
Blush. Contour. Concealer. I'm just speeding through this because, so I didn't charge my big camera and I'm filming on my phone today, and y'all know how I feel about filming on my phone. Memory fills up so quick. I don't really understand how the Apple Cloud works, because like there's stuff that I thought that I deleted from like 2019 and I'm like, why are you still in my album? Like, you have been moved to an external hard drive and then some, and why are you still holding on to my old stuff, Apple? I digress. Look at that. The little oopsie daisy is gone. I know that a lot of y'all came to my aid in that short with my leaky eye, and I think I've been getting better at it. So I have one of these. For those of y'all that don't know, I posted a short where I was doing my makeup and my eye starts tearing up, but like the video was like super zoomed in because I filmed it like this, so I had to flip it around and then zoom it in, and so like you could really see everything up close. And plus I was kind of rushing with my makeup that day, and a lot of y'all said that I didn't moisturize right and like I put way too much setting powder. So I feel like I've grown from that. Y'all be the judge, but I have been working on it and I have taken your tips, so thank y'all so much for the tips. Tried and true white eyeliner. The black's a vibe, but I feel like, I don't know, I think white will always be my favorite. It just opens the eyes. I'm gonna go ahead and set that blush with CoverGirl Rose Silk. If y'all haven't tried these CoverGirl cheekers, I've been using them like forever. My granny always used these, and they are just so like, I don't know if you can see that, but they're like pearlized. You see that? And it just has the most beautiful finish. And they're like, I think they're like the cheapest blush you could buy. Finally got to the end of the makeup, y'all. Set and spray. Can y'all see that blush? I don't have on any highlight. This is just the finish of the blush. I'm gonna link it in the bio for y'all. Be sure to get you some, because look at that. No highlighter, that's just that blush. If y'all want your makeup to stay all day, do this. You gotta set it with set and spray, and then you go in with your powder and you just pat it. And girl, when I tell you, it's not gonna budge. It is not. Woo! It's not gonna budge. And this is just translucent powder. The best one ever, the Wet n Wild one. Alright. Honestly, I had that in my hair for like, I put that thing in my hair like Sunday night, and today is Tuesday. So I've had that in my hair like well over 24 hours, and it was getting itchy, but I was like, nope, I'm a film. Anyways, with the story that I was giving y'all. So all this crazy health stuff was going on with me, right? And like, for me to take the next step in my life, I knew. And so anyways, lately I've just made it like a real, like just made God the real priority. I was able to take my test. I was like, you know what, maybe they might be able to ask me all sorts of crazy questions and keep me from using a calculator, but you know what, they can't keep Jesus out of that room. I've deleted TikTok, I've deleted Instagram, I've deleted Facebook. Like, I still have accounts on those things, but I don't use them. I feel convicted that like God wants me on YouTube. Like, God has given me this platform, like he's given me all of y'all, and like I hope that like hearing my story, it gives you some kind of encouragement for your own life. When people are like, wow, you took your test, I'm like, yeah, like I did it, like I was the vessel for it, but you know what, I relied on the strength of Christ. It was not by my own strength that I did that. It was by the strength of Christ. When your strength fails, and by the definition of this world, you're a failure, like God sees potential. Like, you might see failure time and time again, but you know what, God sees progress.
God works all things together for our good. He works it together for my good. He works it together for your good. And what might look like a failure to the world, what might look like a failure to you, even your friends and even your family, God says no. That's your pathway to your success. I've been reading a lot of ebooks. I've been reading my Bible a lot. I have got off of TikTok and got off of Instagram. I still have my accounts, but I just don't feel like it's healthy for me right now. I just really feel like I need to be strengthened in God because, like I said, my own reserves of my strength ran out. They ran out and left me with nothing. And so I've tapped into the strength of God. And anyways, I've been wanting to learn more about him so I can become stronger and have him direct my next steps and not me direct my own next steps. Because where did that lead me? Unemployed and depressed. I trust that y'all get it. I don't need to harp on that anymore. I was led towards the story of Elijah. And in the story of Elijah, there's a point where he lays down underneath the tree. God's put him on a journey, and he said, like, God, just let me, I guess I can't say that on YouTube. God, I'm ready to not be alive anymore. Like, I'm ready to be done. I'm exhausted. And anyways, God sends, I encourage you to look it up for yourself, because like, I'm not a Bible scholar. I'm just another mere imperfect human. So like, I encourage you to like read everything for yourself. Elijah's like laying there, right? And like God sends him an angel, and the angel's like, you're human. Like, you need to eat. You need to rest. You need to drink. And the angel like sits there with him while he refuels himself and continue to go on to what God has for him next. And even throughout his journey, like, God provides someone that takes Elijah into his home and feeds him, and like every step of the way, like, God provided. And that's so encouraging to me, because like, God provides. Like, we just have to trust and believe in him. And I know that's a lot easier said than done, but trust me, like, white knuckling it and trying to do it your way, which is what I was trying to do, like, that strength runs out. Like, we can't see everything God can see. And if you're stubborn like me, like, you might have to come to the end of your own rope before you realize, like, all right, what I'm doing is not working. Like, I have to give in to God. Like, I just have nowhere to run except towards God. And I hope I'm getting my message across. But yeah, I just feel so much happier, so much lighter, so much more energized, and I hope that this story like can be a blessing to everyone listening. I hope that everybody here can be encouraged by what's happened with me as of late, and I hope that it encourages you in your own journey. Like, just remember, like, it's on my heart to just say that to y'all, that we see what we think is failure, we think what we think is the end, but really it's just the beginning, and like, that's how God works. I will see y'all in my next video.